Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for March 30th. Today I'm going to talk about Hero Realms, Dice Masters Civil War, Tabletop Day, Lanterns getting an app, as well as the Kickstarter for Santorini. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board with Life News. Next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, I'm going to be in Baltimore at Unpub 6, which is a really cool gaming convention where designers bring a bunch of their prototypes for unpublished games, and then you can come for free if you're just playing games. It's a totally free convention. You come, you sit down, there's like 75 designers or something like that, and you get to help these people make their games better. You get to see cool games that are not coming out yet, that will come out later, so it's a really cool look into the process. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have either 3 or 4 of my prototypes there, so I would love for you to come by if you're going to be there and sit down and play my prototypes and let me know what you think. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about it, and I'm also really stressed out because I'm trying to get all my stuff frantically together. Okay, now let's get into board game news. White Wizard Games announced a fantasy version of their incredibly popular deck builder, Star Realms. This is more than just a retheme, I guess, even though mostly I think it's just a retheme. It says that it's going to have new gameplay, and it's going to have a you versus the game mode, so I assume that's solo, but I don't know, it didn't say solo. But it sounds pretty cool. Basically, you're going to have a character that you can level up as you go through the you versus the game mode. So it sounds a little bit like a solo version of Pathfinder the Adventure card game, stuff like that. I guess that's interesting, and I'm the only person on Earth, apparently, who's not a big fan of Star Realms. As you know, if you watch my stocking stuffers every year, people yell at me, put Star Realms on it, put Star Realms on it, and I'm like, no, I don't like that game. But I know everybody else on Earth just absolutely loves this game, so I'm sure they're excited about that. Marvel Dice Masters is getting an expansion, Civil War, of course, to tie in with the movie. This is going to have new mechanics and 30 new superheroes, including Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, and Thor. So, you know, if you're into Dice Masters, I'm sure this is cool for you. I got out of it because I can't rare chase anymore. I just don't have the self-control, and I spent way too much money on it in the first month, and I was like, oops, never mind. I remember why I don't do this. So, yeah, good luck if you're still in that, having any money. International Tabletop Day is going to be April 30th. This is basically Geek and Sundry that makes the very popular web show Tabletop. Put this together a couple years ago, so basically you get together and you play games on this day. If you go to one of the participating stores, you can get promos and you can get little micro games and all that kind of stuff, freebies. My local stores have buy 2 get 1 free sales, so it's just a really cool day to go do board game stuff. You can go online to their website and you can see like a store locator where they're going to be doing promos and get-togethers, and people go all out for it. So yeah, definitely put that on your calendars and make sure you're playing games on April 30th. Lanterns the Harvest Festival, one of the breakout kind of light games of last year, is going to get an app. This is going to be developed by Direwolf Digital, and I'm not sure I've played any of their apps or if they've done any apps, but there you go. Lanterns is like the perfect game for an app like Carcassonne was, where it's like Carcassonne's great. It's a simple port over, and the scoring in Carcassonne can get a little bit like mathy and bog things down, so the app does that for you. Lanterns, again, you can lay tiles and it works perfectly, and the upkeep in Lanterns is a thing that I really like that game, but can get a little bit tedious that like every turn you take a card, so if you're not really paying attention, it doesn't work well, which, you know, I'm scatterbrained, as you can tell by watching the news. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think it's just the perfect game for an app. The Kickstarter for this week is for Santorini. Santorini's like 30 years old. It's this pretty interesting abstract game that's incredibly simple rules, like a lot of good abstracts, where you move around and you build these buildings and you're trying to climb up to the top of the building, but so is your opponent and they're trying to stop you, blah, blah, blah. But Roxley Games, this edition, is absolutely gorgeous. It has so many components where you're building these cool plastic 3D miniature buildings where the end game actually winds up looking like Santorini. It just looks incredible on the board. The board itself is even elevated. Like there's a like mountain island thing that goes under it to lift it up that's purely aesthetic, but it's gorgeous because Santorini, the actual Greek island, was on the side of a collapsed volcano, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it's just really, really cool, and it's the kind of game that when it's on the table, people are going to ask you about it and want to play it. It is $49 right now on Kickstarter, so if that sounds interesting to you, go back that. All right, that's the news for this week. Make sure you go subscribe to Moonrat Media to keep up with Board with Life, the series. Make sure you follow I'm Board with Life on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Make sure you go follow me. I'm at Chris Bryan Games on Twitter, so you can stay up to date with good stuff, basically. Once again, week after next, I'm going to be at Unpub. Come play my games, and make sure you tune into the series, blah, blah, blah. All right. So this week's question comes from @mnaxer via Twitter, and they ask, "What is your favorite Eurotrash game?" I'm going to take Eurotrash. I'm not positive this is the definition. I don't know if it's like a ton of one components or something, but basically as a full merging of like highly thematic games with Euro mechanics. And that is probably going to be either Dogs of War or Blood Rage, because they have super overproduced, awesome minis, crazy, just ridiculous art. Like everything's just so Ameritrash. But like Dogs of War is a worker placement game, and Blood Rage is a drafting game, area control thing. So yeah, I really, really like those games. I really find it cool to bring more thematic gamers into the Euro mechanics that I really like, and I just love getting them to the board. And you know, while I predominantly play Euro games, I still like thematic games, but I just don't own nearly as many. Those are games where I get to play with the bits that are normally reserved for Ameritrash games that have too much luck in them that I don't like, but I really like those bits, and I'm certainly not above playing with toys. So yeah, I'm gonna say those. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.